right, good morning, everyone. We are going to start in about 2 minutes. That's usually our 2-minute warning. I know Pines is kind of a later bunch, and it is a Thursday morning, so we're giving a few more moments for people to jump on. So I'm going to go back off camera for another minute, and then we'll get ready to roll. All right, well, we're going to get started now. It is 9:33, and we try to start as promptly as we can. So all of our great panelists can now put their videos back on since everybody is camera ready. I know people are rolling in still, so we'll getting ready to start. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mayor Ortis, Patrick Simazon. So first and foremost, we thank you all for being here with us on this Thursday morning. My name is Danielle Claremont. I'm Chief of Broward and Palm Beach Operations for your awesome and amazing Miami Association of Realtors. We are so excited to continue this series. This is the second of our What's New in the City in Broward County for 2021. We start off last month with Fort Lauderdale, record attendance with the mayor of Fort Lauderdale. We are so happy to go west today to kick it off with the one of the great cities in Broward County, Pembroke Pines. We have Mayor Ortis on. We have Michael Stam, who is awesome with the city. We have a great sponsor, and we have one of the best local realtor experts in the area. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our President of Broward, Patrick Sim, to give some introductory statements.
Good morning, everybody. First, again, I want to thank everybody for joining in this morning. We have a remarkable turnout for this, another remarkable lineup of speakers here in Pembroke Pines. You won't regret being here today. Like I said in the marketing of this morning, it's going to be information overload. Everything and anything you want to hear about Pembroke Pines, any questions that you have to direct to the mayor or Mr. Stam, feel free to put it in the chat. So let's get started with this morning's event. I want to introduce to you the sponsor for this event, Giovanni Pastrama. He's a strategic branding and client retention specialist for cutting edge gifts. And he'll take a few minutes to introduce himself. I apologize. Giovanni, the stage is yours.
Patrick, thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Like Patrick mentioned, my name is Giovanni Pastrana, and I'm really here to just talk to you about how you can make sure your clients stay your clients forever. And we do that with your closing gifts, right? And when you think about most closing gifts, gift cards, gift baskets, bottles of wine, flowers, I'm not here this morning to tell you your clients don't like your gifts. People love gifts, they're free. But what we found, the main challenge with most gifts, when you think about it, they're consumable, right? 90% of gifts, they get it, they like it, it's here today, and then it's gone, right? It's not something that's gonna help be around when they need you again. And so what we do, high level, big picture, we just wanna help you get something for your client that they're gonna love and use every single day for the rest of your career, while helping you stay in front of them so you can get more repeat and referral-based business. And one of the products we actually are most known for is actually our Cutco. And we've got a good group today on the call. There has to be somebody here on the call who has had Cutco for 5, 10, 15 plus years. if you're part of the Cutco family, share in the chat box, go in there now, I'll open it. I'm counting on you here. I know there are a few of you. Throw in the chat box how long you've had your Cutco. Alfredo, one of our panelists, has Cutco. How long, Alfredo? Share. If you haven't heard of Cutco, it's just like the Rolls Royce, right? Kitchen knives made in America. They're guaranteed forever, right? 10 plus years, Alfredo, almost a decade. And anyone else that has, share in the chat box there. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Alfredo. Super high quality on the Discovery Channel, Food Network. And the reason I always ask, like, how long have you had your Cutco is because this product will stand the test of time, right? Like Alfredo says, it's been with him over a decade, right? It's going to be used every day by your client for the rest of your career in the number one place to gather, right? Which is the kitchen. So it helps spark conversation about you and your services with their friends and their families. And all we do with the product is we take it and we engrave it, right? With your logo, your name, and your number. Why is that important? Well, NAR did a study that said 86% of people would reuse their agent, but only 12% ever do. NAR says the reason is their client couldn't remember their agent's name. We just make sure you stay in front of them so that never happens to you. So if you guys are on the call here, you want some more information, you're interested, what I'll have you do right now is you can just take out your cell phone. I'm going to give you my phone number, and I'm just going to have you text me with your name and your email, okay? Here's my phone number right here. You can text me with your name and your email. What we're going to do, everybody on the call, I'm going to buy you $100 in free Cutco with your order. So if you have closings coming up, next 30 to 60 days, or you have to go backwards with some gifts, again, just text me with your name and your email. And if you are one of the first 7 people to text me for taking some more action, I will upgrade you to $150 in free Cutco. So you can type in my phone number right there now, and I'll read it out loud if you need it. 954-303-9809. Again, that's 954-303-9809. And I just put it in the chat box as well. And you guys can connect, reach out, and we'll connect for a quick, 10, 15 minute call and help you get started. So that's my time. Hope you guys have a super sharp rest of your meeting. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Giovanni. So now let's get on with the meat of the program. As a resident of the city of Pembroke Pines post-Hurricane Andrew in 1992, I now have the pleasure of introducing our mayor, Frank Ortis. He's a resident of Pembroke Pines since 1977. Mayor Ortis has a long history of service to our community. He was elected to the Pembroke Pines City Commission in 1996 and served as vice mayor in 1998 and 2002. After serving 2 terms as city commissioner, he was elected mayor in 2004 and has been our mayor ever since, with his most recent re-election in this past November. Mayor Ortiz, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you. And thank you for inviting me to speak today. It's really a pleasure. I'm sitting in my office at City Center, and I'm just looking out over the properties to see how many, in only 2 short years, how this center has developed, mainly through a person you're going to hear from a little later, Mike Stam, Economic Development. But the realtors are so important to our city. My wife, as you know, is a realtor, and she just nonstop on the phone. We just love the realtors because that's what makes our city grow. We are now going to be the #1 city population-wise after the census. That's what we're predicting, by over 200,000 people. We're approximately just short of 180,000 people right now. So again, it's an honor to be with you today and to share how our great city of Pembroke Pines has navigated through this past year. We're looking ahead optimistically and with the determination to meet our future head on. It sounds too simplistic to say that COVID-19 has changed our lives. For almost a year now, we've been not only in a fight for our lives, but for our quality of life. As mayor of a large city, I, along with the commission staff, have been at the forefront of this battle on a local level, dealing with the physical, mental, and economic challenges of our residents and businesses. It's been a difficult road, but one on which we have persevered and found hope. Providing effective and timely communication has been and continues to be a critical factor in this situation. Early on, we had numerous executive orders from the state and county, openings and closings, we've had guidelines to disseminate and questions to answer. In addition to the standard methods via social media, website, television, and newspaper, we created weekly bilingual videos with the latest updates for our residents and businesses. It was a frightening time of uncertainty, making sure that we were open, honest, and address concerns, helped reassure everyone that we were going to get through this together. As an added tool, we now have digital signage placed in key areas throughout our city as part of our communication efforts. Hopefully you've noticed those. We just installed them and turned them on. To date, the 7 signs, which will show important alerts, event news, and helpful information, are just one part of the citywide streetscape guidelines that were created in 2012 following voter approval of a general obligation bond that included funds for numerous projects, including streetscape improvements. The 7 locations include West Pines Soccer Park, Fire Station 99, Fire Station 69, Fire Station 89, the Charles F. Dodge City Center, and Howard C. Foreman Human Services Campus, and the Pembroke Lakes Golf Course. The city partnered with a local food bank, Feeding South Florida, for weekly food distribution, which continues now every Friday, feeding thousands who are in need. Weekly food distributions were also organized by staff and at the Carl Schechter Southwest Focal Point Community Center in partnership with the Feeding South Florida. Balcony dinner dances, a twist to the center's monthly dinner dances, were held. This is when the center delivered dinner to 190 apartments at the Pines Point senior housing and had musical playing outside for them to enjoy and dance on the balconies, away on their balconies as they waved to all of their neighbors. Throughout the pandemic, the city also delivered Meals on Wheels to registered Pembroke Pines seniors who were in need of food. 100 meals were delivered on a weekly basis to seniors in need. Our city was and is very active in ensuring everyone understand the importance of the 2020 census. A special campaign launched to educate and encourage everyone to participate in a timely manner. It was incredibly important that everyone be counted, and we are very pleased with the positive response, as I alluded to earlier. Our first responders and the fire and police departments were on the front line of this pandemic. They truly are our heroes in times of crisis and continue to work so hard for our community. Continuing to see needs in the community, the Pembroke Pines Police Department also launched a voluntary special needs registry to compile and maintain a list of individuals in Pembroke Pines who have special needs due to mental or neurological disabilities, including but not limited to autism spectrum disorder, Alzheimer's, or dementia, diagnosed bipolar disorder, and Down syndrome. This information will assist officers to more effectively interact with any registered individual. While City Hall is closed to the public, staff continues to work tirelessly to keep the city running on it and make important decisions and keep everyone safe. The city began working on a complete update when the city's population was only at approximately 15,000 versus the close to 180,000 today. The Land Development Code outlines the permissible uses and development regulations for every property within the city. And at last night's commission meeting, we updated those guidelines. As the pandemic crisis began to unfold, numerous special events were canceled to ensure everyone's safety and to follow CDC pandemic guidelines. As did most of the world, we turned to virtual programming, providing residents with a virtual 5K run, art workshops, and exhibits, and various classes for all ages. Our community center added virtual exercise and cooking classes that residents can watch our Pines Media TV and online, as well as offering a variety of WebEx classes. Understanding the importance of taking care of emotional health at this time, we also created a drive-through graduation celebration for all of the city's high school graduates, drive-through Halloween and Christmas activities, and even a virtual Raising Positive Children forum that thousands watched on a YouTube to help parents and students cope during this most challenging time. We are also working closely with our schools, especially our Pembroke Pines charter school system, to ensure parents, students, teachers, and staff remain safe. We distributed PPEs to all of our local businesses to help and safely have our employees remain safe as beginnings are opening to occur. City Commission meetings went viral and are continuing along this path using WebEx so that residents can continue to have an opportunity to participate in our local government. In fact, we came to realize that providing access through this platform, more residents are now participating from the comfort of their own homes, expressing themselves and having their voices heard at each meeting through this technology. A municipal election was held in March, allowing me the honor to remain mayor for another term. And Jay Schwartz, another term as Commissioner of District 2, and Larissa Chances filled in the District 4 seat as Commissioner until Angelo Castillo was elected in a special election held in August. In addition to all of the changes a pandemic brings, we were diligently made sure our residents and businesses were prepared for the annual hurricane season through our Pembroke Pines Prepared campaign. Predictions indicated a very active hurricane season, as you all know. However, we were spared any direct hits from hurricanes. We did, however, experience the effects of Tropical Storm Ida, which earned the label of being a 100-year term and a 100-year storm, a rainfall event that statistically has 1% chance of happening in any year, or when 10 to 20 inches of rain falls in a 72-hour period. Tropical Storm Ida arrived in South Florida late on a Saturday and remained through early Tuesday in November, leaving our streets and lakes flooded for days. After the storm, the National Weather Service showed that Pembroke Pines received 14.5 to 21.5 inches of rain, the most rainfall from the storm occurring in one region. Unfortunately, this is a very difficult and frustrating situation for hundreds of our residents when they couldn't leave their homes, or for some use the bathroom due to backups and cars on the streets flooded. Commissioner Iris Seipel organized a meeting with her HOAs and invited staff in the South Florida, South Broward Drainage District representative to explain to residents how and why this flooding occurred. As a result of this meeting and attention, actions being taken by South Broward Drainage District to move forward with changes. And we as a city are seeking additional state funding to find more effective remedies to alleviate to the best degree possible these weather consequences that can easily and quickly devastate lives. While this storm added to the year's challenges, we learned from this experience that it helped us to improve conditions for future incidents that may occur. We are continuing to work closely with our county, state, and water officials. In conclusion, 2020 was a year like no other. Lives were lost in this pandemic, heroes rose, and now we have entered into new challenges, helping our residents through vaccine distribution. The fight's not over yet, but I think we're surprised by our own adaptability and strength. And we know we will prevail over whatever is thrown us. And I just want to add to our realtors listening, our property values have increased this year to 7%. So that means in 6 years, past 6 years, we have gone from 4.5 to 7% property values. And it shows. It shows my wife's, she got so many homes to sell, and the realtors in our city make what our city needs, a strong backbone to make it great. I'm proud to be the city's mayor. I'm proud to be part of the realtors and the great job they do. And we'll continue, even when we brag about being the largest city in Broward County. So I thank you, and I'll stand by to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mayor Ortiz. So as the mayor said, he'll be on towards the end of our panelists to answer any questions that you have. Any questions, if you just put it in the chat box, we'll get to them right at the end. So now I have the pleasure of introducing Michael Stamm, who is the Director of Planning and Economic Development department for the city of Pembroke Pines. This is one of the most important positions in a city. So Michael is in the know with all things Pembroke Pines. He's the go-to guy. He's going to tell us what's in store for Pembroke Pines and the future. Michael, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Sim. I appreciate that. Hey, Danielle, could you let me share my screen? I've got that quick presentation. I'd like to be able to show some slides which could help the realtors. Is that okay?
Hold on 1 second, please.
Yep. I know I've tried to answer some questions while you're coming, and I hope I can answer some of those through my presentation.
You're all set to share. Go
Should be
ahead.
All right, I appreciate it. Here we go. All right, so I put together this quick presentation about the city of Pembroke Pines. I'm going to go over a couple key areas. Demographics, I know there were some questions that popped up in the chat. Hopefully I can answer some of those questions for you. Talk to you a little bit about government and city projects, residential development, commercial developments, some healthcare projects that are coming in, and then some major transit improvements. Before I jump into my agenda, I'm proud to say that I've been employed with the city of Pembroke Pines going on my 16th year. I am also an adjunct professor for Florida Atlantic University. And I've got a really dynamic team here that helps get development projects underway, also, in a sustainable fashion. The city of Pembroke Pines is, well, I'm really just proud of the city. We've done so many great things over the last couple of years, and let me start off with some demographics. Obviously, this is a picture of our city hall, our city center. We look forward to having these events again. This was Pines Day a couple of years ago, but we've got a really dynamic facility here, and again, just a great team providing great services to our community. So let me talk about some demographics. I know the mayor is very optimistic about what our census data is going to reveal. According to Powering Florida, which is a demographic site created by Florida Power and Light, great resource, by the way. This is just some general information about our community. Population about 175, it may be a little bit closer to 180 right now. Median household income, according to Powering Florida, is about 72,000. Which is 18% more than the county average, 28% more than the state average, and 13% more than the nation average. Listen, I will scream that from the rooftops every day. And this is something that I do know that your clients are going to want to know about. Most people spend on average about $13,000 a year on shelter. That's something that's really key for you as realtors, and about $11,000 on transportation. We do have a lot of folks here. I've been wondering, I wanted to ask some realtors over time, are you guys selling houses without kitchens? Because so many people spend so much money on dining out in our city. 13%, 7% of all of our businesses are restaurants. So even during the pandemic, they've for the most part have fared pretty well. And, we do have very low utility rates and water bills. I know you may see some stuff on blog sites. My water bill went up this way, but our mayor and commission have done such a phenomenal job keeping our water rates down while still maintaining solid infrastructure. We do have about 74% home ownership versus rental here in the city. And the average age here in the city is about 40 years old. We do have some strong senior communities, but we are getting younger and younger every day. Before I move off this demographic slide, in 2014, City of Pembroke Pines was named to Money Magazine's Best Place to Live. Okay. When we started that process, they called me, they said, Mike, we hear you got some great retirement communities. Why do people retire there? By the end of the conversation, they put us on the Best Place to Live list. Okay. That's a great accomplishment, and I'm really proud of that. And that's really a feather in the commission's cap, because they've created such a great community here through great legislation and through great leadership of both the commission and the city manager. All right, employment. Just some general information, 61% of our jobs are white collar jobs. We got about 92,000 people in our labor force. That means we've got a lot of seniors and we got a lot of kids that aren't working yet, okay? But I like to think that we've got such good access to the Tri-County area. People love to live here. They can work in Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and in Miami-Dade County, and they can get there quickly. If within a 1 hour drive time, we have access to about 5.2 million people, which is just a tremendous statistic. And I love to harp on that statistics because it's part of the reason why businesses are starting to relocate here. Back in 2017, the city created a economic development strategic plan where we outlined how we were going to try to change our economy. We outlined some strategic real estate transactions that we needed to make, and we've done almost every one of those, as well as building this city center building, which is really helping tell the story of who we are as a community. So let me jump into some city projects. The mayor's already stolen my thunder, but that's okay. The mayor's allowed to do that. So let me talk to you about some of the city projects that we have here. Land Development Code. This is probably the thing that's most near and dear to my heart. Our code was established in 1969. I think that's the year the mayor was born, right, Mayor Ortis? When we established the code,
That's
we were
correct,
thinking,
Mr. Stam.
so, when we established a code in 69, we were a different city. We were a city of about 15,000 people, with 15,000 people problems. Now we're a city almost 175, almost 180,000 people, and we've got different goals, different outcomes. So we started this project 2018. We got the commission to approve a contract, and last night, I'm so proud, so happy, the commission adopted on first reading our new land development code. Now, why is this important for realtors and for the commercial real estate? And what we did is we tore apart 16 total different sections of the code, merged into one chapter so people could download the code and have a good understanding. We put in tables. Before, there was tons of narrative. You'd have to read, just to understand things. Now you can look at a table and get some questions answered really simply. Residents would call me all the time, Mike, what's my setback? Well, the word setback wasn't in the old code. It said yards. So, it had this whole education component just to get people to understand where they could put their pool. The new code is very clear on that. By the way, in my role as an adjunct at FAU, my students look at my code and they're like, Mike, what is a phonograph store? Mike, what are these uses? So we modernized the code. And honestly, this has been one of our big pet projects. We've been working on it. We've had a lot of public input in this project. Our commercial developers really are the impetus for this. They've been part of this project since day one. And our HOAs, and they've also participated in this process. We had an open house. It's been phenomenal. So anyway, I thank the mayor and the commission for passing it on first reading. March 17th will be second reading, with adoption and implementation as of March 22nd. So our new code could be in place. The mayor talked about digital signs. We've got 7 of these signs. Again, he stole my thunder, but these signs are part of our streetscape plan. There's 11 displays because some of them are two-sided. We've got these signs spread around the city. You can see a picture of one of those signs. This is going to be a great way to get people information, whether it's about city events, whether it's about emergency order, if there's something that's out there, telling people not to put out their bulk pickup if we're in an emergency event. Just a great way to communicate to our residents coming in and out of the city. If you've been to my city, you'll notice that we also have some entry feature signs. There are gateways. Almost every entrance into our city, whether it's Pines Boulevard, University Drive, 184th, US 27, has a gateway sign to welcome you to Pembroke Pines. I like to think that people know when they're home or know when they've arrived. It's a great feature that's part of our community. And again, we've been very blessed to have the commission support on these endeavors. Something that feels a little good, a little warm and fuzzy in this downtime that we're at in COVID, we've actually started our campaign to wrap our utility boxes. So as you drive around the community along Pines Boulevard and some strategic areas, we've begun to wrap our utility boxes with some things that are key to the area. Just some really great art spread throughout the community. Good little subtle projects that just help tell you who Pembroke Pines is. We're a fun, lively, playful community. And again, maybe that's part of my elevator speech. Maybe I need to practice that a little bit more, but this is who we are as a community. We take care of our seniors, we take care of our kids. And if those two things are taken care of, mom and dad are happy too, right? All right, so now here's the stuff that's probably important to you. Residential development. When I got hired with the city, they told me that the city was built out. Well, I'll tell you that we have grown since I've been here, from about 130,000 people to almost 175, 180. So over the last 15 years, that's been our growth pattern. We are doing some infill development, and we've got some new projects coming in. This project actually was on last night's agenda. It's called Merrick Square. It's a project on the old Flanagan High School Annex, 172 in Pines. The school board put this property under contract with D.R. Horton. And they're proposing to build 211 townhomes on 23 acres. Again, I know this site plan is really small here and it's not finalized yet, but I want you to notice one thing that's really important with this site plan. Look at the open space that's part of this plan. A lot of green space. You don't see that in a lot of townhome communities. COVID has kind of taught us that people want their backyards, even in a townhouse environment. So we're really proud of what DR Horton's proposing here. Again, really, really excited about this. We think this project will be coming on board by the end of this year, going into 2022, 2023. All right. Again, this is more of an infill project. I like to call this horizontal mixed use. This is called Pines Market. This site plan was actually approved last night by the City Commission. It's 165 townhouses being built by Lennar. It's on 13 acres. This site plan is a little bit more compact, but they do have some nice balconies, patios in their backyard, a couple different models to choose from. The square footage here goes anywhere from 1,500 all the way up to 1,900 square feet, which is bigger than many of our single family homes. Really excited about this project. The key to this project, though, is that this was a city facilitated redevelopment project. If you've been around Pembroke Pines for many years, you'll notice at the corner of Pines and Dykes, we had the postal distribution facility. It was a 347,000 square foot building. So guess what? My city bought it. It's part of our redevelopment plan. We bought the property from the post office. We put it under contract, probably faster than most of your realtors could have done it. And we put it under contract at a profit that's going to benefit our general fund, but also in a way that we can build new things that'll come on our tax roll. The post office wasn't on the tax roll before, so this project puts new development on our tax roll. I'll talk about the other phase of it in just a moment. And listen, I apologize. I had a lot of espresso. Our commission meeting went a little long last night. I am very highly caffeinated today, so I do apologize. I'll answer any questions when we're done. Pembroke Tower. So we need to take care of our seniors. This is a new project that the commission will be seeing soon. It is phase 2 of an existing age-restricted, income-restricted project over on the east side of the city. This has been in the works for many years. They've got their financing and they're coming forward with this. We're really excited about this. This is a conceptual rendering. Hope to have this before our commission relatively soon. And Sienna. This is another project that was built by Lennar. These sales have gone anywhere from $385 to $460 for a townhouse. This is out at 184 and Pines Boulevard approximately. It's an infill site. This is what's left in Pembroke Pines, some of these small little infill sites, and townhouses generally generate less traffic than some of our commercial spaces. So this has been a good alternative for some of our properties, because some people are concerned about some of the traffic in the west side of our city. Again, more taking care of our seniors. Another project here at City Center. This is an assisted living facility called Providence 1. You can see the spectrum here. We've got townhouses for families. We've got some age-restricted housing for folks that still can take care of themselves. And then we've got some assisted living project that's coming to the city. This is going to be right here at City Center, 117 unit, 130 bed assisted living facility called Providence 1. And you can see the conceptual renderings here on the screen. Let me jump into commercial. City Center. The mayor was talking about this. I am going to do something. I hope this works out. And I hope it's clear enough. You can see my camera. This is City Center. City Center is a mixture of residential apartment units as well as commercial space. We've got about 300,000 square feet of commercial. Publix, Cooper's Hawk, Outback Steakhouse, Chewy's is about to open. UFC Gym is under construction. They're taking memberships right now. This is a great live, work, play atmosphere. City Center, our City Center building is directly behind this. And this is something that's, again, another city facilitated redevelopment project. So this property had been sitting here. We put it under contract. We got it built over the last 2 years. It's just been on overdrive, even through COVID. And you come here at night, you see people walking. It's funny. We convinced the commission that we needed to make the developer build extra wide sidewalks. People are walking on them. You got people biking. They walk out of their units. They walk over to Publix. What is it called? Colada just opened yesterday, a new cafe, a little Cuban cafe right here inside City Center. Again, really excited about everything that's happened here. You can come here, have a burger at BurgerFi, eat a steak at Outback, drink some wine at Cooper's Hawk, shop at Publix, sign up for healthcare with Humana, buy some patio furniture at Rooms to Go Patio. You've got so many opportunities here. I think you can buy cell phones from 4 different providers. There should be nowhere else you need to go inside city of Pembroke Pines. All right, so I'm gonna hit on another one, city facilitated project. This is the north half of the old redevelopment of the USPS site. This is currently under construction. It's on Pines and Dykes. This is the called Pines Market, 16,000 Pines Market. Publix, we're reviewing their plan right now. Regions Bank is under construction. Cheddar's has already been approved inside here. We're going to have a gym. We're going to have another retailer, as well as the new post office that's there. That's been open for about a year and a half now. This project is about 115,000 square feet, and this is just north of the Pines Market townhouses that I showed you. You can live in the Pines Market townhouses and walk to Publix or to the dental offices that'll be in here. This is what we call horizontal mixed use. So this 20-acre site is half commercial and then half residential. Tractor Supply. All right, so this is an interesting project coming in out west, about 202 on Pines Boulevard. Tractor Supply has been trying really hard. If you look at your social media feed, or if you're watching TV, you notice Tractor Supply has been inundating themselves into the market. They've been looking for locations. We're really excited about this store. And so Traffic Supply, like it's a small home improvement center that sells things for your pets, whole bunch of different items, as well as outdoor stuff. Again, this is going on the west side of the city, 202 in Pines. This is still in staff review, but we anticipate this being before our planning and zoning board relatively quickly. All right, and now here's another city facilitated project. You're getting a theme here, right? So the city's economic development plan was to buy property strategically and then control the uses that we can put on them. Well, the old women's prison, which is a little folklore from Pembroke Pines, it was on 204th and Sheridan Street. It was out there for many years. If you've seen the movie Monster with Charlize Theron, it used to house women's death row. Okay, little fun fact you get kids about. Women's death row used to be adjacent to Pembroke Pines for the state of Florida. Anyway, the state put the property under surplus. Our city commission and our city manager put in a bid. We won the bid. We entitled the property, made it industrial to expand our industrial base. And then the property was developed by Core 5 Industrial, who then sold it to VPX Bang Energy. VPX and Bang Energy will have their corporate headquarters here, as well as their manufacturing facilities. So this is a good source of jobs for the community. These may be some of your clients in the future if you're selling homes. This is out on Sheridan in 204, excuse me. The building's already there. It's a beautiful building, the first building. There's going to be 3 when we're all done. Really excited about this. Again, all of these city facilitated projects, these are properties that were not on the tax roll, which have now expanded our tax base. You know, this has really been, you know, part of the city's mission is to change and diversify our tax base, you know, to make it easier for people to live, work, and play in the city of Pembroke Pines. I forgot one project, and I apologize. It's the Edison. It's on 75 in Pines. It's a new office project. I apologize for not putting some slides in here on that. It is about 300,000 square feet of office. One of the first Class A office buildings to be built in the last 20 years in Broward County. All right, so let me finish up with healthcare. Memorial West is one of our, number one, it's one of our biggest, Memorial Healthcare, excuse me, is one of our biggest employers. Memorial West has undergone some expansions recently. They're about to expand again. Now, Memorial was able to acquire the former Toys R Us and the Petco space, which is right on the corner of Pines and Flamingo. That way they can move their campus south. So if you've ever done real estate in Hollywood, you know how regional has expanded, taken over some homes. Well, our city wasn't really ready for that. So we pushed them, say, hey, try to get this property to the south. And they were able to acquire it, and they are building a new cancer institute. We're in the review phase on this, but we will have a new cancer institute in the city of Pembroke Pines in the near future. So nurses, doctors, there'll be some of your new clients. These are great jobs that are becoming, and I'm sad to say we have to build a cancer institute, but if it's going to be anywhere, it needs to be in Pembroke Pines, which is really at the center of everything. All right, so we've talked about all this stuff we're building. How are we dealing with the traffic? Well, we've got a bunch of projects that we're looking at. Number one, everybody knows that the surtax was passed, so we've got a couple surtax projects. The Pembroke Road expansion. Now, this is going to be a long-term project, but we will be widening Pembroke Road from 160th to 196th. From 2 lanes to 4 lanes. And then we're going to be building a new roadway from 196 to US 27. We're starting the preliminary design phase with the city of Miramar and Broward County. This is a surtax project. It's estimated to cost around $90 million, but this will drastically improve transit. I know we couldn't have this needs to happen as fast as possible, and we're all in agreement on that end. But this project is in the works with the surtax dollars that are out there. And I would anticipate you start to see some action on this in the very near future. FDOT has Pines Boulevard widening from 196 to US 27 in their 5-year plan. We'll probably be seeing some work on that very soon. Sheridan Street is another surtax project, widening it to 3 lanes on either side, 6 lanes total. Sorry, my text is a little messy there, but new bike lanes are going in there. And then last but not least, you'll see new bus shelters coming throughout my community. All right, so now I can breathe, I can exhale. I apologize for the caffeinated speech, but I wanted to make sure I was on time. I know you guys' time is precious, and I will jump on the chat and answer any questions. And again, I just really thank you for giving me your time today. And you can always reach out to me at City of Pembroke Pines. I'll be your best resource when it comes to new projects coming to the city. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Stam. Wow, was that awesome or what? I promised you information overload, and that's exactly what you got. I'm truly excited about the Pines Market. As I live just down the street, I can walk to that in the future. So that's great news.
And Patrick, before you go on to introduce Alfredo, I have to say, Michael and Mayor and Michael, we have received so many comments and texts coming in about the presentation. Amazing. So keep the caffeine coming. So we just told Alfredo, he now has really big shoes to fill from the so get ready, Alfredo.
Yeah, there was
no pressure.
And I think Mike answered most of those questions about the condos coming into Pembroke Pines and stuff like that. So we're going to monitor the chat, and after Alfredo's presentation, we'll answer any questions that wouldn't support that's on the Q&A chat. I made a mistake before. It's not on the chat, it's on the Q&A chat. So our next speaker, moving on with our agenda, our next speaker, Alfredo Pujol. He's an exemplary leader in our profession and a dear friend. He currently serves as a governor on the Broward Miami Board of Governors for the Miami Association of Realtors. He's a master of the Southwest Broward real estate market and just loves statistics. So here we go. He's going to give you a little bit of the latest information of what's happening in the residential market here in Pembroke Pines.
All right, thank you, Patrick, one cool realtor, and thank you, Danielle, and Mayor Ortis and Michael. So Michael, I'm sure your chat is going to be blowing up asking about all those projects, but I'm going to take you all and tie it in a little bit about what you're feeling as realtors. So myself, I have been a member of Pembroke Pines Real Estate Office of Keller Williams for over 14 years. I just did the math. So I am crossing 14 years that I've been selling real estate in Pembroke Pines, and we have over 265 realtors just in this office. So we hear a lot from the realtor community, what is happening. And me and Patrick have great conversations in the morning, and we talk about what's going on, what's moving. So this is why this was a great opportunity to hear about all developments, because we're trying to figure out where to put people in homes. So I'm going to share my screen here in a second. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what you're feeling in the market. So let me know if you all see the slide in front of you talking about the monthly quarterly stats for Broward, Miami. All right, cool. So these stats are provided by our amazing Miami realtors. Danielle has this information. You can go to miamirealtors.com news, so you can pull that from there. What I want you to see is this. This is Broward County. This is Q1 of 2020. You want to see here, in 2019, we had 3,100 closed sales. The sales jumped in 2020. So even during the pandemic, you saw that jump. That's why you're feeling that contraction of the market and the listings out there. What you're seeing is also the cash came down. A lot of that has to do because of the interest rates. The interest rates have come down significantly. So you're seeing a lot of families coming in, or a lot of people taking advantage of the low rates. So that has come down also. Your prices are going up. So this is Q1 of 2020. Our prices have gone up, and you heard the mayor say it 7%. You heard Michael say people are coming in and they're buying properties, right? So a lot of your residents are starting to feel that increase in price, but it's not affecting them so much because of the interest rates. So this is what you all are seeing. December 2019, we had 2,600 home sales, the increase. It went up to 3,400. Okay, so that's a huge increase. And you see the same thing down here for the single family homes and condos. You see that jump coming in from 1,300 to 1,600 to to 1,700. So a lot of the inventory that we had was getting bought up. Also here, dollar volume. This is where you're seeing the dollar volume increase. You have condos are up 48%. Last year, they were up 48%. And your single families, I saw a lot of questions in the chat. Your single families are up. So you're not seeing that inventory flood the market as you did before. So a lot of people, I know Michael mentioned all those great restaurants. They might be remodeling the kitchens, but they're going out to eat, right? People want to go out and eat, and especially now that we know the social distance rules. So they are buying the homes, but the kitchens are remodeling, but they're going out to eat. Active listings. This is one of the areas when we talk to a lot of our real estate community, our realtors in our office, realtors when we're at events or on the Zooms, this is where we're feeling it. We're feeling it a lot because if you see here, 2019, you had 12,000 listings. You now have 9,000. So that market is getting bought up and it's getting taken out. And that is why you're starting to see it. 2.1 months of inventory and 5.6 in condos. So that is where you're seeing if you have a seller that wants to sell, now is probably the best time. And the buyers, unfortunately, you see those lines out the door with 30, 40 people for open houses. It's a great time to buy. And that is what you're seeing here. The inventory is down in Broward. Also something that we're seeing is here, the condos, you can see we eclipsed 15,000 transactions. And for single family homes, we remain strong. So there's a 3.5% side, but we're still increasing now. That was 2019. When I get to one slide here, that's interesting. So luxury, what we are seeing at our office, and we're seeing across the city and the state is a lot of people are coming in from up north. So I have a lot of New Yorkers in my office and I love the New Yorkers because y'all buy real estate. I am born and raised in Miami and South Florida, but the New Yorkers and a lot of people from California are starting to come into Florida. And you're seeing that they're buying some of this luxury inventory. They're starting to purchase this because for them, some of these homes at $1 million, 700,000, those are discounts. Those are discounts for them for what they're paying for a home in those other areas. So you're starting to see that purchase and those properties selling a lot faster, and that inventory is coming down too. Now, this is the slide that I want to get to. So Broward, Miami puts these slides out through social media. So a lot of you know, I like my Instagram, my IG, and my Facebook, but these slides are out for you to share with your clients. And it's super, super important that you're sharing this with your clients because you can see here, single family home months supplied in Pembroke Pines was number 3. This was Q1 of 2020, okay? Condominiums, Pines wasn't there, but you see Broward. But look at now this slide. Pembroke Pines jumped to number 1 in month supply. So all that inventory went from number 3, so I'm just gonna back up for a second here. We went from number 3 in the inventory and supply to number 1. And a lot of that has to do with what you just heard from the mayor and you heard from Michael. A lot of developments, people are coming to Pembroke Pines because it's a family area. I have a lot of friends and family, and what they're doing is you're seeing the ones that are in townhouses. So the younger demographics are buying bigger properties. And you're seeing the people that have been in Pembroke Pines for a while, they're buying now or downsizing and buying those townhouse projects, what you just saw. So that's important to have those projects that they just mentioned as a realtor community to take your clients there because you're seeing that's what's happening. People want to stay in Pembroke Pines. They just might not want the 4-bedroom. They might want a 3-bedroom townhouse, or they might want to move into one of those projects that's there because they have convenience of where they can go in the community. So this is a super, super important fact when you're sitting with your sellers. And this is what we really want to make sure that the community understands. And also with your buyers, you want to make sure that they know that it's one of the hottest markets, and it has to do a lot with what they're doing, what you just heard the mayor say, and also with what's going on in terms of development in Pembroke Pines. And then here, another quick stat, and then we'll be done. And I know you guys have a bunch of questions to ask Michael and the mayor, but you also see here the closed sales. Pembroke Pines had the most sales in Broward in Q4. So you all were selling a lot of homes. Remember that opening stat where showed the median price was about 380? Look at Pembroke Pines, 432. So you see that jump in prices. That's also the interest rates are lower, so people can buy a bigger house. So that's as a realtor community where you're seeing that side. Look at the year-over-year change. It's a 10% increase. So Pembroke Pines has done a great job, and the realtor community has done a great job making sure that people move over here. And this is the equivalent to when you're talking to New Yorkers or you're talking to people from upstate or different areas, is this is your suburbs. You have your great schools, you have your parks, you have your extra wide sidewalks. So you have all those things available to you. And that's where people want to be. They want to be in that atmosphere. And again, Broward on the top of the cities, and Pembroke Pines was number 2, but $162 million in dollar volume in the increase on that side of the sales. So what we're seeing is, again, Pembroke Pines is the place that people want to be in. They want to be in Broward, but they are moving to Pembroke Pines. So just to tie it in, because I know we have a lot of Q&A, I wanted to make this as quick. I had a lot of coffee too. I have my Starbucks sitting here, so cheers, Michael. We've had a lot of espresso too. But you can get all these stats, and this is super important, MiamiRealtors.com/Broward. In the news side, you have all your stats there. They do a great job at the association of providing all this material. You can brand it to yourself. So please take advantage of it. It is an important tool, because when you're sitting with a client, you have to let them know as a realtor that if they don't sell now, they might miss that opportunity. And if they don't buy now with these rates, they might miss that opportunity. So make sure that you get them into the homes. So I hope that was good enough content with a great little slides. Those are awesome slides. So thank you, Danielle. Thanks, Patrick, Michael, and Mayor Ortis for letting me share today.
Thank you. Michael.
Thank you, Alfredo. So we have a couple of questions here. I know Michael has been answering some of these questions. So let me just go over and make sure that we don't miss any.
And Michael's typing skills are as quick as his speech. He's been answering the questions as pretty much as quick as they've been coming in. So great job, Mike.
So Michael, some of them, it may be straight to you, but it'll help the everybody else on this call. They wanted to know how many public parks are in the city of Pembroke Pines.
So I apologize. I don't have that in my elevator speech. If you give me just 2 minutes, I'm looking for my parks report. I'll be able to answer that question shortly. I'm Googling I'm not Googling. I'm searching my reports on the same time. So I'm trying to type and do everything at the same time. So give me just 30 seconds. I'll get back to that question. I
And
can
let me
answer
just
others
say
while we're
one thing.
talking.
Let me interrupt you, Michael, if I could. Let me just tell you that we have more parks in our city than almost any other city. And the huge soccer park that we made in out west by 208th, we had a national soccer team contemplating and talking to us about using that as their home field. So that's why we become and continue to be a green city, because as we just heard, we want to develop, but we want to make sure our city is green and continue to be that. Michael?
Perfect. So Michael, while you're looking at that information, someone wanted to know if we could get a copy of your presentation with the slides. You're on mute.
We'll do that.
Perfect.
We'll make sure you get it.
And because I live in close proximity, I have to ask this question here. Somebody asked what's going to happen to the Publix across the street from the new Pines Center, and what's going to take its place?
Mr. Sim, so the mayor knows this, okay? I let companies make announcements. I never make announcements, all right? So Publix is going to make some announcements in very due time. I've got my suspicions, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I don't know what's going to happen just yet, but we let companies make announcements. That new store probably won't be open until 2022. So, nothing will probably be happening in the near term, but I have a feeling you'll be hearing some announcements very soon. And we have 32 parks in the city, and also acres and acres of wetlands. I don't know if everybody knows this, but we have a 300 plus or minus acre wetland park out on Sheridan Street also. In fact, they're filming something for Discovery Channel there today.
And Michael, if I can interrupt, Patrick, if I can interrupt, we have the Eagles. They named the Eagles after Frank. I was just excited. Down by 208th, across from the West Broward school, their Eagles 7 years ago decided in a vacant land that Michael is talking about with the wetland, a pair of Eagles decided to take one of those trees as home, settle down, and they continued to have baby eagles. And we watched them and photographed them. They named the first one after me, and they had 2 chicks in the nest. And what happens? They fall out of the nest, get on the ground, and they fly away. And then we thought, that's it. Every year, no matter if you had the development, every year those eagles come back. So I'm proud of our Eagles in Pembroke Pines. Michael, go ahead.
I see Mike is answering a question there. Mike, if you could just answer it. I guess somebody else wants to know that answer.
Yeah, well, I know there's a question in here about Winn-Dixie on Hayes and Sheridan. That is actually in Cooper City. I don't know the answer to that, and I apologize, but you know, it's been vacant for a little while over there, and I wish them luck in getting that filled. I do know that there was some grocery stores that had some financial trouble based during the COVID time that have caused some of the delays in some of these spaces filling up.
Okay, and I guess the last one, somebody missed the date when we were, I think the mayor had mentioned this, that the date when we were voted the best city.
2014 Money Magazine Best Place to Live. And if you go on Wallet Hub, which is another financial resource, they got a lot of surveys and information. Pembroke Pines consistently ranks as the best place for Hispanic entrepreneurship, best place for families. You know, again, you know, I point to my leadership. The city manager's been in the city for a very long time, and our commission has just done a phenomenal job keeping us on the straight and narrow. So,
Thank you. With that said, I don't see any more questions. I'd like to thank you guys as leaders in the community. You just provided a truckload of information. It's information overload. I'd like to say to everybody here, we have an outstanding participation of our members here. And we also have not only realtors, because we market this to consumers also, to residents of Pembroke Pines. I see a couple of them on. I want to challenge you guys. We do this once a month. Next month, we'll be in Pompano Beach. We live in Broward County, so we want to have a pulse on what's going on. Not only in Pembroke Pines, we want to be all over the county. We dine in Pembroke Pines mostly, but once in a while, we treat ourselves to downtown Fort Lauderdale. Last month, we had the mayor. He was absolutely fantastic, just like these leaders we have here. And we're going to continue to pushing the limit on bringing you excellent events. So it's once a month. Look out for the next one. I'm going to challenge you to invite a friend, invite a colleague, right? This is the way we're going to get all the information out to the whole, our realtor population. So invite a colleague the next time if you liked it. There's nothing not to like about this presentation. So thank you again. Thank you to the top 2 leaders in Pembroke Pines. It was really exciting. I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know. This is right, and I live in Pembroke Pines. So I'm going to step in and say I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you, Patrick.
So
I'm your
Danielle?
second man. That was amazing.
Yeah. So thank you guys, and again, my heart goes out to everybody that was here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you next month. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Thank you
Patrick.
all. Thank you, Larry. Thank you.